Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tinnitus Coach Frieder, the guy who was born deaf on his left ear and who's had a severe tinnitus and a hearing aid for the past 16 years now. On my channel, I talk about science-based tinnitus relief. And in today's video, we're talking about 5 things that I wish I knew when my tinnitus started. Welcome. So if I could go back in time and to the moment where my tinnitus actually started, there are 5 crucial things that by now, so 16 years later, I would have done very much differently. And working with between 500 and 1,000 people now in tinnitus coaching sessions, but also inside our online program at mytinnitus.club, most of these people who have been through their tinnitus journey would feel pretty much the same about these 5 steps. So let's take a sit back, relax, and enjoy the video with 5 things that I wish I knew when I started dealing with tinnitus. So tinnitus can absolutely be terrifying. And what you do in the first couple of weeks or month can make a lot of difference in how your tinnitus journey is going to unfold as a whole. I'm advising you to stick around to this video because all 5 points are pretty valuable in terms of what you need to best go through your habituation journey. Make sure that you let me know in the comments what you think of this video. Make sure of whether you already are aware of these 5 steps and which one was the most helpful for you. So the very first thing, and this is one of the most important things I think in a tinnitus journey, is that your brain is not broken. I know that, when it starts, it feels like, something's really not working anymore. Something's weird here in my brain or in my ears, or something's really, really broken and I have no idea how to fix it. And also the doctors and seemingly online, people are saying there's really nothing we can do. The core thing about here though, is that tinnitus is not a disease. It's a brain reaction to a loss in input or to problems with the neck and back or a combination of those. Your brain can change how it reacts and responds to tinnitus. And this is something that's incredibly important when we start dealing with tinnitus, so that we know that we're not going to be stuck with the same way that our brain reacts to tinnitus over the rest of our lives or the course of many, many years. So understanding neuroplasticity so that the brain can unlearn ways to respond to the threat response we get, especially at the start when we start dealing with tinnitus, is the absolute foundation of relief. Because if tinnitus isn't so important to us anymore, and if it's not as disturbing as we perceive it at the start anymore, then it can naturally go into the background and our brain can habituate. So the second thing that I want to tell you today is the more you fight it, the worse mostly it gets. So, at the start, when I was 19 and I started dealing with tinnitus, I literally tried everything, right? I tried to block it out, music, fans, masking devices. At that time, there was not that much available as there is now. But I was actually in the wrong with this because I did not realize that I was teaching my brain to literally pay more attention and not less attention on the tinnitus. So over the years, I started learning that relief actually doesn't come from fighting tinnitus that much harder, but that it comes from reducing the threat perception, not reception, perception. From reducing the threat perception, right? And that's what then finally, also for me, but for most of the people that I work with, also breaks the loop of this constant tinnitus habituation reaction, right? And the third one, is a personal favorite of mine. Google will make it worse, right? Googling your tinnitus the whole time and hanging out in forums where people constantly write the worst of the worst stories is terrible, right? So every late night forum scroll you do makes you even more anxious. And why is that? Because your fear spreads a lot faster than facts. The facts are most people who are in these forums probably in due time maybe do habituate and don't visit these forums again. But do you think they come back to those forums and delete the comments that they've previously made? I don't believe so either. So what you actually do is actually increase the fear and the threat that you think, instead of basically doing factual research and learning what tinnitus is about, why the brain responds this way to tinnitus, and what you can actually do in order to change this perception and your reaction, right? So instead of doing this, and this is one of the recommendations that I have in this video, you can find structured science-based information and a positive space where we lift each other up and support each other towards habituation, not a forum where people, only go into the doom and gloom, but positively moving forward. And that's what I built inside my Tinnitus.club. So if you're interested, just go to www.habituate.online. And the fourth fact is that habituation is the real, and it's also the goal it should be the goal for everyone, but it's the goal for most people with tinnitus. Habituation is the goal. Habituation, some people actually tell me, right? They're like, actually the other week, someone was saying like, I didn't even know that habituation is possible. And I wish that someone had told me this, because, you actually stop thinking that the only way you can start living your life again is when tinnitus is gone, right? And this obviously creates massive pressure on the tinnitus and the way you're feeling. And that in turn turns into the problem, right? So, if someone had told you, and if someone had told me that you can get to the place where tinnitus no longer bothers you, but it's still there, then that is something that I would have absolutely loved to know, right? Just not because it disappears, but because it changes your reaction to it entirely. And that changes the volume about your tinnitus as well. So we see this happening actually all the time in our club. People go from, at the start, really sheer panic and despair to pretty much forgetting the tinnitus most of the time, right? And it's about that reaction, okay? And the final and fifth thing that I want to give you today is that you don't have to do all of this alone. Back then, I was alone because there was not these offers out there, and that's one of the reasons for why I founded the My Tinnitus.club community and the 12-week program. But, tinnitus can be incredibly isolating because you feel like you're going through it all alone. But there's 20 to 30% of the population. If you calculate that in a country with 100 million, then 20 to 30 million people experience tinnitus. Not all bothersome tinnitus, but they experience tinnitus. So you never know how many people that you're actually around really do have tinnitus, but it's such an isolated experience because only you perceive it. So it's very, very powerful to know that there are other people who also deal with this, and to see how they struggle or find relief, or how this ACT-based habituation program that we have created works for them. So if you want that to be one of your relief tools, then, you pretty much know what you do, where to get people that can support you, where to get weekly group coaching sessions with me. And I wanted to just reach out and say, I know it's hard, but these are the 5 things that I wish I knew at the start of my journey when I started with tinnitus. And just for you, I want to quickly repeat these 5 things. The first one was, your brain is not broken. The second one is, fighting will absolutely make your tinnitus louder because it reinforces the threat reaction. It reinforces the amount of focus that your brain pays attention to it. Google won't save you, definitely not. It will most likely only spin the fear spiral more. And habituation is real. Yeah, I wish that someone had told me that it's possible to experience tinnitus but not be bothered by it. And the 5th one, in my opinion, is community is key, but a community that is guided and based on a science-based program, right? And again, if you want to start my free course or check out our 12 weeks program, then simply go to www.habituate.online. You'll find different resources there. If you did like this video, I really appreciate it if you give it a like and a comment. Let me know which of these 5 points you found most helpful. Please also know that I'm a single entrepreneur and single creator, so I'm pouring a lot of work into this while avoiding burning out again like I did last year. Thank you for appreciating this. Thank you for allowing me to do this for the world. And luckily I could create a resource that was not available when I started dealing with tinnitus, but I hope that I could help you guys out. And I wish you all the best in your journey, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.